Well, good evening, everyone. It's 5 o'clock, and we welcome everyone to the board meeting tonight. Got a new school year underway and lots of excitement. We're really excited to hear from our principals and staff tonight about what's going on in the system. Board members, you have before you the draft agenda for tonight's meeting. Floor would be open for a motion to either adopt this or to make any changes. Y'all see fit. Okay, got a motion?
Second.
And a second? Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. All right, well, if everyone would please stand, let's play. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, board members, you had, in, I believe it was the August 2nd email, the draft minutes from our July board meeting.
Make a motion to approve those.
Okay, have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, let's say no. Okay. Thank you. And then in today's email, you should have the disbursements for the month. Any questions about the expenditure disbursements for the month? All right, have a motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion or questions before we vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. Thank you. All right, principals reports. Ms. Baker.
Good evening. How are y'all? Last week at Askins, we had a great start to the school year. I'd like to thank the teachers and staff. They worked very hard to get the students acquainted with the procedures and just get them excited about coming to school. We do have a lot of new little tigers at Askins this year. Our number of enrollment as of today, we have 81 in pre-K, 97 kindergartners, 71 first graders, 85 second graders, 92 third graders, 85 fourth graders, and 74 fifth graders, for a total of 585 students. So last year, Askins finished the year with 541 students. And this increase in enrollment is primarily from our kindergarten and our pre-K. We actually got to add a kindergarten unit, so we have 5 classes of kindergarten this year, and our pre-K is full. So we're excited about that. Each day at Askins, our students get to go to specials classes. And one of our specials classes is our STEM class. So tonight I have Miss Shanna Smith here, and she wants to present to you and share a little bit about the STEM class.
So last year was the very first year that we had STEM added to our specials rotation. And so STEM, if you're not familiar, is science, technology, engineering, and math. And we created our curriculum from scratch, and we serve kindergarten through 5th grade every day, once a week, kindergarten through 5th grade comes through. So these are some of the projects that we worked on last year. I was so proud of all that we were able to accomplish with the students and how much they enjoyed it. And there's captions on each picture. So the one I do want to explain is where it says parade balloons. We studied the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade and all that goes into the building of the floats and the structures of the balloons. One of the things that they emphasize in STEM is the careers and how you can apply these different skills to future careers and what's available out there in the world. So Macy's employs a huge department of artists and engineers, and so that was one thing we studied where we could apply some of our skills. So Steve's going to click through for us. Okay. Go ahead. Did a big unit on simple machines and all the different applications of that. This was a favorite of the kids. 4th and 5th grades got to study forces and motions, and they made their own roller coasters and tried to get their marble to go around the loop without falling off, without shooting through. So they really enjoyed that. FPU came, and for our younger kids, they did a series on electrical safety called Louie the Lightning Bug. They showed a video and talked about different applications of electricity and the different things that FPU offers. And then, of course, for the older grades, they got to see electricity in action and got to see what the linemen wear, and they were really interested in that.
Nice to see an FHS grad in that picture.
Right.
Working for FPU.
We finally, for years, different ones of us have been trying to get a meteorologist to come visit. And so we finally got on board with WAAY 31 to come visit us twice. And for the 3rd grade and the 5th graders. And those are some of the math emoji puzzles that we do on a monthly basis that the kids submit answers to and try to win a prize for. So we try to keep them doing something all the time. They get really excited about those. And then here's just some of the other things that we do during the year. Some of their designs. We really learned a lot and had a lot of fun, and I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to teach that class at Askins.
Absolutely. A lot of good things happen. You can never get the kids started in STEM early enough.
That's right.
Everybody's smiling too. That's a good thing.
There's a lot of excitement because they never knew what we were going to be doing from week to week. So, and then of course this summer we took the 5th graders on some of the 5th graders were able to go on a field trip to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, and that was very, very cool. We even got to do a hands-on lab with one of the instructors at the center.
Y'all were able to be there almost the whole day, weren't you?
It was a whole day field trip.
Yeah,
Yes, it was.
That's great.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Appreciate you.
It's a great program, says the engineer in the room. It's a really great program. One of my favorites. Mr. Bobbitt.
All right.
FMS.
And I will second that. I won't miss that class for an idiot. Right past, that's my favorite class. Go watch. FMS had a great first week. Got off to a real good start. Our attendance has been going good. We've got 31 either new or returning students this year. We've got 74 6th graders, 82 7th graders, and 92 8th graders for a total of 255. So that's going well. Had Cone Ice came this past Friday. The kids, I swore I never would do Cone Ice again when I left right after. But kids really do like it. They thoroughly enjoyed it. So we're going to do that once a month for just something just to kind of icebreaker for the kids, just to let them big kids a little bit, but it was good. At the end of I'll tell you about this. At the end of our schedule, we've added about 20 minutes. It's going to be independent reading time. All the teachers are excited about it. Our library, Miss Giffen, is going to, she's looking at 2 different reading programs to check into. Probably leaning toward accelerated reading program. All the teachers are excited about it. Get the kids to try to, especially middle school. That's hard, middle school is just an awkward age anyway. But just getting them involved in more in reading. Sports related, our volleyball team, they've gotten off to a real good start this year, playing real hard. The girls are competing, and that's what we've got to start soon. We want them competing hard. They look good. They got new uniforms. They look like a team. In fact, they got a game going on right now. As soon as I walk out of here, I'm going back to watch. Soccer's got our first game Wednesday night. We play at home against LC Middle, 5 o'clock. Our first football game will be Thursday night against Forest, our big rival. Past 3 or 4 years, that's become a real big rival. Coach knows about it. Saturday night, we're having a back-to-school dance put on by our middle school cheerleaders. It's called the Sneaker Ball, where the big trend is now that the girls wear sneakers with their dresses. So that's going to be real fun. And then our sports and clubs, I was going to talk to y'all about. Beta Club, got Sherry West, one of our new teachers is sponsoring it. Drama Club, Nikki Painter. Got a real good Mr. Hobbs. I can't say enough about him, what he does with drama, but Nikki's she's helping on the middle school end. Julia Townsend does her student council, first priorities. Andrew Hawley does an excellent job with it. And then our morning show, I can't say enough about Bridget, what she does with the morning show. It's outstanding. It's real good. We've got a real good group of students that are working with the morning show. Football, Coach BJ. Volleyball, Joe Kirkland. He's a volunteer coach, but he's doing an excellent job with these ladies. Girls soccer and boys soccer, Angie Prince is coaching it. Shea Hicks, which is now our new social worker. She's doing cheer this year. Matt Towery, we've hired in. He's our new PE teacher and boys basketball. He's also going to be our baseball coach. A lot of excitement there. Kamai Hastings doing our softball. And golf is Troy Sloan doing boys and girls, and swim, Sarah McCormick and Lori Frame. So we've got a lot of good things going on at the middle school, and a lot of involvement. And the kid, I'm trying to, talk to the students that are getting involved in something, band, drama, something. I want them involved. So, but everything's going good right now. All right, thank y'all.
I have to say, when I was at greeting at FMS on the first day, I can't tell you how many little brothers and sisters were hanging. As they dropped off a middle schooler, there would be a little person in the back yelling, "Mr. Bobby, Mr. Bobby." So he has a real fan club.
And that's a good thing about Ralph Askins, about elementary. All the kids love you there. Then they get old.
Get too tough for you, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Thank
right.
you so
I
much.
appreciate everything y'all do. It's been
Great,
great.
thank you.
It's been great.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Pepperidge.
Thank y'all. We've had a great start to our school year. All of our students and staff have shown great enthusiasm as they've returned. I want to thank Ms. Shantae and the board members for coming to help greet our kids the first day. That's something that I really look forward to. Even though we talked about it was hot that morning, but we were still out there. I want to thank our front office staff, Miss Susan, Miss Sheridan, and then Miss Betsy and Miss Monty for keeping me straight these first couple weeks or so. Without them, I know I couldn't do it. And our teachers, they've gone above and beyond to welcome myself, even though I've been there, but into a new role, as well as Miss Davis, and welcoming our kids back in, like I said. Our senior class, I'm going to look to them, and they've already shown great leadership in the school, so I'm looking forward to working with them throughout the school year. And with that being said, Ms. Maria Fulton, she's been chosen as our student ex officio of the board. She wanted to apologize. She couldn't be here tonight, but she should be here next month. So, and I look forward to working with her. She's a great young lady, and she's got a very bright future. Enrollment. Last year we were excited to graduate the largest class I believe that we've had, 92. With that being said, our freshman enrollment this year is 78. Sophomore enrollment is 85. Junior enrollment is 97. And senior enrollment is 88. So that's a total of 348 students that we have. And our enrollment obviously is slightly down, but we've still got a full building, and we've still had some kids coming in to register today actually. So hopefully by next week those numbers will settle down and we'll have a good solid number. So I'm very excited to announce we had Motlow and TCAT come today, and we've got roughly 43 students that are going to be dual enrolling this year. So that's a very large number. And then we have roughly 30 students that are interested in enrolling in TCAT. And TCAT is not just industrial maintenance, which, most of our students that go to TCAT, that's kind of what they focus on. That's going to be health science, that's welding, industrial maintenance, and HVAC. So I think that's very exciting. In addition, we have 14 sophomores that have been given the opportunity to dual enroll with Motlow with our mechatronics, which is our engineering program. And Mr. Eric Reynolds, is going to be coming to our campus to teach those students every day. So I am excited and proud that we've been able to give that many students an opportunity, to already start on their post-secondary education. Athletics, so our athletics are going to kick off here in another week or so. Volleyball is going to start Monday, August 14th. They start away versus Franklin County, and that starts at 5 p.m. Golf also starts August 14th, and they're going to go to Hillcrest Golf Course. That's over, I believe, in Pulaski, and they'll be playing Richland and Giles County. Girls soccer is going to be Tuesday, August 15th at home, and that's going to be versus Cascade, and that's going to start at 5:30. And then football, they will start Friday, August 18th, and they will be visiting Upperman. So, and that'll start at 7. So, I thank you all for your support and your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well done.
They have a scrimmage Friday night.
The scrimmage, we do have a scrimmage Friday night, right?
Yes, and that's at Lincoln County.
Yeah, which is a great fundraiser for both programs.
Yes, sir.
Tremendous
Yes, sir.
fundraiser. Make a lot more on that than they do their regular game, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's a really great way to support the community. That's great. Super. I'm sorry, how many TCAT, did you give an actual number? You said 43 dual enrollment.
So we've got roughly 30 students
Okay.
with TCAT,
Okay.
and that does include our health science class that we have.
Yeah, that's
So-
great. That is great.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic. All right. To my knowledge, we had no one from the public request to speak to the board tonight, so we'll move on to supervisors' reports. Ms. Dodson. I bet you have some facts and figures about some of those things that
I
we just
do,
talked
as a
about, don't
matter
you?
of So I'm about to tell you how you're gonna pay for that engineering class. So, I've got a handout for you guys. And I did this to kind of condense the information. This is the exact same presentation that I did for the middle school instructors and teachers and the high school. So, there you go. So for the expediency of your time, I'll just kind of blow through and kind of tell you the things he's talking about. So this is a handout. For example, we hear, it's funny, T-Essence reached out to me today, and she's doing the college and career counseling piece, and she said, you have a cheat sheet of acronyms, And what was so funny about that was, unbeknownst to both of them, Mr. Jones today had expressed his frustration with acronyms. But T. Essence was like, is there some kind of cheat sheet? And I said, well, maybe we need to make one. But one of the acronyms you hear all the time is an EPSO. And oftentimes people know what a dual enrollment is, but they hear the term EPSO and don't relate them. So an EPSO is an early post-secondary opportunity. And this is just when you roll through it, and again, I'm not going to bore you with it, examples of all the EPSOs that the state recognizes. Then you're going to see the ones that we utilize at FHS. And then how many EPSOs. So know that that's changed. Currently, there's so many different varieties of ways you can get them. At one point up until recently, a student could only get 2 EPSOs paid for. So the state would pick up the tab on 2. The state then changed it to where they will pick up 5. However, one of the things you can do, there's a new concept called middle college, which means if a student is in their sophomore year, rolling into their junior year, they can enroll in the middle college, go to Montlow all day their junior and senior year, and get their, totally get their associate's degree, get all of their graduating courses they need for all of about $500 and something. The idea being after you do 5, you're at a discounted deal anyway. Now, the flip side of that is there's also a program within the Megatronics, and it's not competitive. Everybody gets it, is a deal of if you applied for the Megatronics deal your junior year, then guess what? They'll also pay for your books, you can get gas money, you can get these other programs as well. The intent is that the sophomore group, they can either go, there's a nursing lane where you can literally finish and be able, when you graduate, to go to UAH, get your RN by the time you're 20 years old. So you would graduate and have 2 years to go to UAH. The other lane is the associate's degree with the other. So we have students in the sophomore class that are tapping into it. Now, here's what we're doing with the juniors. So we were in a conundrum of maintaining our engineering program and still maintaining the quality of the program. So it's really a win-win-win. Montlow Fayetteville campus is in the process of they're wanting to recruit more students on campus at the Fayetteville site. With the rationale being, just like everyone else, they were very impacted by COVID. So students went virtually and they're trying to bring those back. Well, if you know Mr. Reynolds, we want a quality engineering instructor. He is a quality engineering instructor. He was an engineer himself, and he is actually over the Megatronics program for Montlow now. So when we all came to the table, he and Michelle, who is over the dual enrollment now at Montlow, what we determined was those 15 sophomores can become his cohort group. So the intent is they will then roll through their junior and senior year via the middle college, via the Megatronics, or even just via the EPSOs and be able to access that. Now, in addition, we have about 8 other students that are juniors and seniors who also have an opportunity. We have one particular student who's going to be accessing 6 Megatronics courses. And that individual will even be going to one night class. So that's the rationale of it being a student-driven deal. Now, here's how we're going to pay for it on the sophomores. Here's the only negative in kind of working within the parameters. A freshman now, any student freshman through senior year is allowed to go take dual enrollment courses. You could go to Montlow. However, if you go the junior college route, the state's only going to pay for it if you're a junior or senior. TCAT, you can actually access it the whole way from the time you're a junior to a senior. But when you think about the expense to the school system of a personnel, by the time you pay their salary and their benefits, the difference is this. We can pay out of the ISM grant $500 per student for those 15 students. That means the ISM will pick up about $7,500 or so. That second semester course, the first will be digital electronics, the second will actually be CAD in their sophomore year on our campus, in our classroom, and Eric will come teach it. we're gonna pick up out of the general about the other 7,500. When comparatively to the salary and benefits of an instructor and the challenge of finding someone of Mr. Reynolds' caliber, it's a win-win. Motlow gets students. The students now, even if they didn't take advantage of the other opportunities, would get 7 FSOs paid as opposed to 5, even if they went the minimal route. And if you had seen how happy they were when they saw that they were going to get to still do engineering, it was fantastic.
Part of who we are as a high school.
And you could tell they were Eric's people. That was the greatest.
I was able to come over and see a group of them talking, and it was really encouraging. It was a nice thing to see. So, commend Ms. Dotson on
And
her
it's
efforts in that.
it will be progressive, unique to our system. I don't know of anybody, this is gonna be a progressive new thing that I look for other school systems to potentially get on board with. So going to the other page, want you to see the other episodes we have. Of course, all of our Motlow classes can be dual enrollment. We also had 2 students this morning who went to an 8 o'clock meeting at Motlow about the EMT program. So at this point, we have 2 students that will be enrolling in EMT. They'll go from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning, first semester and second semester to Motlow, and they will actually graduate with their EMT certification. So, again, working on that, and that'll be paid for by Motlow. AP for all, I don't know if Spencer, like how many students, I don't think they have the number yet in the AP enrollment. Of course, industrial maintenance, welding. I climbed over boxes. We've got about $150,000 worth of equipment that's already at Aaron's, working on those classroom walls. Of course, the TCAT starts a little bit later. I found out today there will also be students in the class from Lincoln County and 2 from Moore County, as a matter of fact, to make it up. The engineering we talked about, Brian's cosmetology room, if you haven't seen it, it's fabulous, and he's super excited. Math for Meds, anatomy and physiology. I mentioned this to you before. We lost Brandy Thompson, but not really. She's going to be an adjunct instructor for us. We're going to pay for her out of grant funds. She will teach in the fall. She will teach Math for Meds. In the spring, she will teach anatomy and physiology. And she will be a dual enrollment instructor. Those students will also be going to work-based learning 2 days a week. They'll be with her in instruction 2 days a week. So right now, we're going to have over 30 students doing work-based learning at the hospital. And then, of course, our state dual credits. And there's some other information on there you may want to look at that I went over with the teachers at your deal, explaining to them the accountability model, what a Ready Grad is, and how that all sort of marries together. But those are things. I wanted to address one thing because I was surprised nobody had a question about it. Interesting thing, the one student he mentioned that's going to HVAC, that student is a junior. We'll be setting their schedule up where they will drive themselves to Shelbyville after lunch. They'll go to the HVAC after lunch in the fall and the spring semester. They're a junior. The cool thing about that is they'll do that as a junior. They'll go all day as a senior, the morning and the afternoon. We've already talked to the student. They're going to try to also go there this summer, because after you get in 3 trimesters, they put you in a workplace setting. So literally that student could graduate from Fayetteville High School and have their certification in HVAC and their high school diploma at the exact same time at the age of 18 years old.
Wow, that'd be a first, wouldn't it?
He would be the first. Honest to goodness, he would be the first.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
he would be the first. So that's it. I'm trying to think. That's kind of, welding is priority 1 on the ISM grant, and that's kind of where we're at right now. Also, you'll notice on there the digital arts and design. A lot of demand for that class. We've already got the MacBooks that are ordered for that. Getting that in place with Ms. Rolander.
Was the welding supplies on our expenditures coming from that grant?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
143,000
Yeah.
or somewhere it was.
Yeah, it's not.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It's a big grant, though.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's $1.5 million, so I got a little room to play.
Plenty of money.
That's all
Trust me,
really exciting things.
That's not your money. Well, it is your money, but it's
Right.
coming from somewhere
It's
else.
not-
So-
So,
that's state funded.
Okay,
That I
that's
see.
good.
And speaking of the welding program, you've mentioned this a time or two, but we haven't really had any grand announcement of this. But our neighbor there on the bypass, Arians, is literally carving off part of their facility to allow this program to
They
be
already
taught
have, yep.
in their facility, which is a great partnership with the local industry, not to mention just all sorts of other kudos to them.
Yes, they've framed in the build, like the piece in the back, they've already got the metal walls up. We were talking today about, we're purchasing the portable walls, and the other thing is they'll pay the electric bill,
Is that dual
everything.
enrollment for all? Is that just
Yes.
an exclusive partnership, or is that gonna be open?
That'll be open
For all
for everybody.
students.
And the ideal is this, here's the
We'll
idea.
have first choice. though.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, our students would always get first choice. We would never not have a slot, just like the industrial maintenance. But here's the thing, honestly, we would never have enough welding students to be able to justify the expenditure of our own funds.
Oh,
Right. It's such a win. Will there be, and again, I think the public would appreciate hearing, will there be a ribbon cutting at some point with
There
them?
will. We will be doing that. I will be honest with you, one of the reasons we hadn't publicly done it was the contract negotiation between the TCAT and Aaron's. So they have a lawyer in Brigham and TCAT has a lawyer in Nashville, and so, but we have worked that out, and that's one of the reasons I can kind of tell you guys. But once we get it all set up, there will most certainly be an unveiling.
What a great thing for the community. That's just great.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Thank you. Mr. Giffen?
I don't have anything as exciting as that. And the
Regina's
principal's,
always
Because
trying to
I'm
follow.
extra.
that, I know, following Regina's a task. The principal's kind of told you about the numbers, and the numbers look really good. I think things have gone extremely well. I've been busy trying to get everything into the student information system, loaded to the state. We've got a new special education software we're trying to clean up errors in. We've got all of our different educational technology programs that tie into our stuff, trying to make sure all that works and all the people have access and those kinds of things. So that, and then we're updating some servers that we've got to do for the system. We've got new APs, access points that we're putting in all the buildings. We're getting all that scheduled and set up. We're getting the switch moved over to the high school into the new cosmetology room and getting all that set up so they have internet and everything access down there. So it's been a busy time. After about a month or so, I'm going to be in a lot better place, but it's been extremely busy. First year's always like that, especially when you do what I do, trying to get everything working. Once you get it clicking, it kind of levels out. But right now, it's just really hectic time for me. So that's kind of what I've been working on. And if y'all have any questions about any of that, I'll be glad to try to answer. A lot of y'all have reached out to me about my father too, and I appreciate that. I just want to let you know that means a lot to us. We've had a lot going on at home with him. So anyway, I want to mention that.
Sorry.
All right. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you so much. Dr. Stahl?
Hello. I wanted to start out by talking about the Stronger Connections grant that we received. We got over $1 million, and we were only one of 17 systems that received that, so we're very happy with that. It also allowed us to hire 3 new social workers, 1 at each school, and that has been phenomenal. Regina put together a meeting with nurses, counselors, and social workers, and it was fun watching them work together and brainstorm ideas and how best practices for working with students. So right now Ashia is at the middle school, and then the high school and elementary social workers, they'll start by the end of the week. They'll be here. 1 comes tomorrow. So they're all hired on. They have exchanged phone numbers, and now they're planning and they're working on planning a training for the teachers. So all 3 of them will work together on the professional development day in September that we have, and they'll go to each school and work with the teachers on adverse childhood experiences. Also, I wanted to put a shout out for Ashia. She, the second day of school, we had a family move in from out of town, and they were without housing. And all they had was clothes on their backs. And she jumped into motion. That we had one at the middle and one at the high. And she worked with the family. She was able to take them to get their shots. She took them to Walmart and they bought clothing and shoes and school supplies. And when they were getting their shots, she encouraged the mom about, employment. And the mother walked down to the local grocery store, and today was her first day of work. So that's what we want. We want, that's what it's all about. So that's exciting. I wanted to put a shout out here because she worked with the counselor too. Karen Bobbitt was instrumental as well, and they were able to work with Good Samaritan, the health department, Clothe Our Kids, and Hands of Mercy. They're outstanding. I did want to say the pre-kindergarten program is successful. It's doing well. I've been there almost every day since school's opened, and the kids are having a ball. Our teachers are phenomenal. We've worked out the car rider line, so that's tomorrow will be the first day we go full day car rider line. So but we've had practice with the half day, so it's working out really well. I have to say that Brittany and Heather have been great. Just the attention to detail, the students, the buses, getting to the kids onto the right buses, and color coding things, and car rider line, making the tags. They're outstanding. Trisha and Beverly and we attended the what is it called? The Children's Health Fair at South Central Human Resources, and that was a lot of fun getting to see what other resources are out there for our families, and talking to all the vendors that were there. I believe that's it. Did y'all have any questions for me? Okay, thank you.
That's a touching story of that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the vision. And
Yes,
we talked
it
about
is.
that need
That's
in
what
our
it's
system.
all about.
And that is such a blessing.
And she bragged, and she was just the mother, she was saying, I've never been treated like this. I've never had a friend. And she had said, now you do. I'm your friend.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I think that speaks to the spirit of the small school system. We're a much larger place. It's a good school system with a lot of accolades on their own, but that's something that, with our size and our ability to focus on the individuals, having fewer of them, that we are able to do, where in a much bigger place it'd be much more difficult. The need would be so great in a large place that it'd be reduced as far as the amount of attention that could be spent. So here, I think it's fantastic to have such wonderful community partners willing to help us.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said only 17 school systems in Tennessee
That's right.
have received that Stronger Connections grant.
Right.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Out of 146 or something. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Did you write the grant?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had help.
Kudos to you. Kudos to everybody that was involved
That's
in
right.
doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I remember you said you went for the moon, kind of, right?
Probably
You were
went for the
thinking,
moon, yeah.
put a big dollar in there, let's really do this right. And it's
Yeah.
3 years, right?
That's
that
right,
we have
3
to
years, yeah.
enjoy it. What a blessing.
Fantastic.
What a blessing.
Mhm.
Thank you. Ms. Jean?
I'll be short and sweet. We have one Grow Your Own that is fully enrolled with UT Southern, Lexi Waxter. She is a full-time special education EA. She works from 3rd through 5th grade. And I was over there as well one of the first days of loading, and she was on it. I mean, she was like, she's gonna be great. She took charge in the car rider line, so she already plays the role of a teacher. She's got 2 classes this fall while working full-time. She will start her education classes in the spring, and then plans are to graduate in spring of 2025 with a special education degree. So what a great way to grow our own while she's working with those kids in our system. So we're excited and for that, for sure.
She's very much one of our own. She was a student, she's
Yes.
a graduate, she's
Yes.
worked with us in, her entire adult life, and that's excellent.
That's exciting. Thank you. All right, Mr. McCormick.
How is everybody? I need to start asking to go like alphabetical by first name. I have to follow all this. And I'm like, oh, but it's all good.
glad school year's off and running. Been doing a lot of help in each of the buildings, making sure they've got their online instructional pieces going and just making sure everybody's off on the right foot. Did want to update you on where we are with the virtual school. Not much different than we were when I reported last time. Still waiting on state approval. Haven't really received a response back. Sent another email this morning to see if we'd made any traction and still kind of crickets. So hopefully now that school's off and going, kids are in the building, things are great, shift my focus back on that and we're going to find out where we are. So, but other than that, appreciate you guys. I appreciate Mr. Clark not throwing me under the bus because I was waiting for when he was talking about the middle school, and Mr. Jones probably knows what I'm fixing to tell, but I started off my day at FMS, and out of sheer muscle memory, started in the high school lane, went to go right, realized I was going left, and I must have cut somebody off, and so, yeah. And so that was almost the first day of school, but great time, enjoyed seeing the kids. My own two, I was really planning on being there to embarrass them, and then I wound up having to come up here and do something, so I missed that part of it. But appreciate you guys, appreciate all you do, and like I said, just blessed to be here and off to a great year. So.
Thanks for all your help on the grill, the hamburgers. They're so great. I just want to say what a great hamburger that was.
Well,
So
thank you, and you know, I
He didn't cook them all.
you know, I didn't get any calls from the health department, and I haven't got any lawyer letters in the mail, so I think we're good. Thank
I
y'all.
love it. I love that tradition of that cookout. That's very special. And I would, but for the record, I would never out you. But thank you for that public confession. I think you're now cleansed of that.
You gotta call it
event.
like you see it, and I did. I'll cut that piece lady off.
We'll expound more on that in a private setting.
Yeah.
Ms. Williams.
The only thing I have is the July financial reports, is the revenues and expenditures that were emailed out earlier today, and just, do you have any questions?
All right, that was swift. Any reports? Facilities and transportation, anything else to add there?
Yes, sir. I would like to catch everyone up to speed on the FEMA project. There's not movement yet, but there's hope. So I was able to have some pretty extensive conversations with Ben from Congressman Desjardins' office, and he has agreed to help us out. I know they're in communication with Atlanta, the Region 5 office, and I don't know if it's a direct result of that or if it's coincidental, but we now have a conference meeting, a virtual Teams meeting, basically with FEMA, all the interested parties there, TEMA, the people who are working on our project in the state, Greg Kennedy, myself, and Adam, if he's available. So we're going to be able to have that Friday. So I'm excited that regardless of what information comes out, I think it's a good thing that we're able to communicate with them, because there's been like quite a log jam in communication. So I think this is going to break some stuff, allow us to proceed, and maybe make some good headway to get to a good end here sooner rather than later. On the project where we remodeled the back of the gym and made our cosmetology room, it does look fantastic. I think the decision's been made to postpone going in there until the furniture's all in and available, because they don't want to move in and move out, but it looks phenomenal, and we're very excited about it. Schneider is finished up. We are working on programs right now, so that's an ongoing process, and progress is being made on it. We went from a scenario where the thermostats were reading about 4 degrees off. So I had a conversation with some of the board members at our meal, and they were saying, it's hot. And I'd been in some of the hallways and I knew they were warm. But after that conversation, I went into some of the actual rooms, and it became evident that, if the thermostat's saying 72, but you're breaking a sweat, it's not accurate. So we've had those conversations. That's getting more like right all the time, and I'd say in the near future, it's I think most people would say it's acceptable now, but in the near future, it's gonna be pretty spot on, so we're encouraged about that. We hope through the storms we don't have any more lightning damage. It seems like every time we have a storm, something else gets hit. It's minimal. I'll let you know if anything major turns up, because those can lead to crises or catastrophic failures. You know, we're always keeping our fingers crossed. Stuff like stadium lighting or transformers that could take a year to order don't go out, but right now we're in pretty good shape.
That's awesome.
And that's the bulk of the report.
Awesome. Any questions? We're ready. I guess one of the things y'all may have noticed is we haven't been approving invoices to the architectural firm and whatnot because we've kind of been in a stop work, right? But
Yeah,
because of the.
It's not a true stop. We're holding, they're billing us, but we're holding them until the paperwork goes through so that we can take advantage of the 95/5 ratio.
Gotcha.
Also, there's possibility that as a result of some of these delays, that a big bulk of our portion, our required contribution will be met in these fees and overages that we've been paying along the way. So we will get to a point where on the actual dome project for the safe room portion that we've already paid all in and everything else is just coming in as reimbursement and you know, the government's paying for it, and then we won't really have bills other than the components needed to make it a competitive gym for basketball, volleyball, and things of that nature. So bleachers, gym floors, goals, scoreboards, things of that nature.
And as we sit here, we're ready to put a bid package out.
We have a bid
That's
package.
it.
Yeah,
We're just waiting on this form to be
absolutely
approved and the grant is officially ours.
Within a week, well, I won't misspeak. Within 2 weeks of approval, we can have our advertisements out.
Yeah.
As soon as the required amount of time has passed, we can go to bid. Assuming we get good bids, hopefully we can move forward immediately.
And building costs are not what they were 2 or 3 years ago, so it may have been a
There could be
blessing.
an advantage in the end.
It's been a painful blessing, but a lot of blessings in life.
It's been a labor of love.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So any other questions from Mr. Jones? All right, in Finance Committee, we had one, Finance Committee, we had one which was to take a look at revising a couple of supplements. You want to explain those?
Yeah, in our first supplement list, I made an error. We'd have the athletic director, and we generally replicated the supplements in amount and structure from the previous year. But that had been all one person, and we wanted to break that apart and have a middle school AD and a high school AD, so to break them not evenly, but commensurate with the amount of work involved in each. And then the supplement that we had for the system athletic director is separate from that. So we wanted to change it to reflect that accuracy.
Okay. So we'll need board approval of that. Okay, so I'll make a motion, we approve that updated revised supplement list for the year. Any questions or comments?
Is there going to be a point where we would be open to discussion to raising some of those supplements, or where does that fall?
Raising supplements for everything or for?
Just for some of the athletic.
I mean, sure. I mean, we're always open to discussion.
Is our athletic supplements coming from their own personnel budget of the school athletic fund, or how does that? That's coming.
That's coming from
like personnel.
Personnel. And ours generally are pretty healthy in comparison to other systems. But we're definitely open to conversation.
Okay. I don't know that I'm ready to I don't know that I have enough I don't know if I have enough thoughts to present it, but maybe we could revisit it if we want to.
Absolutely.
Talk about that again.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. All right, okay. Insurance and policy.
I don't have anything.
Very quiet, okay. Mr. Jones, Superintendent's report.
Yes, sir. For the first order under my report, I'd like to submit for approval the disciplinary hearing authority list. There's been a lot of turnover within that group, a lot of those people have gone on to other positions. Miss Rhonda has retired, so Coach McCormick has submitted a list for your approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, got a motion? Did I hear a second? Okay. I thought I did, but I didn't want to, I was really quiet a second. Motion and a second, any further discussion of the disciplinary hearing authority list? All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed say no. Great.
Okay, the next item is we would like to take the opportunity to recognize and request approval of tenure for Miss Lisa Banash. She is a teacher that has consistently scored well above expectations. Her students are well educated, and it's reflected in their test scores. It's reflected in their ability to communicate, and we want to reward that at our earliest opportunity, which is now, and we'd like to submit that to the board for approval.
Glad to make that motion, yeah.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed say no. Great. Okay. Anything else, Mr.
No, sir.
Okay, board members, the only thing I had on my report tonight is the performance evaluation instrument for Mr. Jones that we do on an annual cycle. As you well know, we, thanks to Ms. Williams, updated it, essentially changed the name, and I had not heard from any of y'all, so I assume everybody's okay continuing on. I think it's a great, we updated this a couple, 3 years ago. I thought it's worked very well. It's more involved than it was in the past, and I think it's a good metric. So I would make a motion that we approve this for the 23-24 year. Okay, thank you. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed say no. All right. And the last thing I had was, as we look forward to the next board meeting, September brings Labor Day. And we talked about this at Finance Committee the other day. Would the board be open to a Tuesday, 5 September board meeting at 5 o'clock? We were running into problems bumping it a week, so we wondered if we could just bump it a day. Does that work? Okay. Tuesday the 5th. I know you're good. Okay. All right, well then, we'll just declare that our next regular monthly meeting in September will be on Tuesday, September 5th at 5 p.m. Thanks. All right, and then designated some time for board discussion tonight. If we have discussion we want to entertain.
I want to shout out for our SROs. From what I can see, they're doing an excellent job. And I know when we were out there the other day for the first day of school, poor Drew worked his fanny off, picking up kids and hugging them, and he knows every one of them by name.
And that's not just the first day. I mean, that's all day, every day.
And then when 8 o'clock came, guys, we gotta lock the doors, and they ran us off. But I think they're doing an excellent job.
Thank you. I agree with that.
We're lucky to have those three.
Very much so. We appreciate the cooperation of the city and the city police department in that regard.
I've talked about them in our city meeting too. Really good SROs y'all got, no doubt.
Yeah. I have some personal relationships with some of our new employees, and an off the record thing I think they would be happy for me to share is they said we have felt so welcomed, and what can I get you, what do you need, arms wide open. They said the facilities are great, the people are great. She said, I'm so happy to be here.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I think it's like the highest compliment. So she said the students are fantastic, the teachers are just so impressive.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's good,
Very
good
nice.
feedback.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Speaking of, while we were on the SRO topic, we may have other topics, but Mr. Harley, y'all, I know the city was applying for the grant, the state grant.
Right.
to fund this, right? Which would
Yes.
take it off of both of our books.
Right, which would be
For the
great.
term of the grant.
So, yeah, so hopefully all that goes through smooth, and I don't see why it would.
Yeah.
And last week, the chief and I both signed there's a template MOU that the state has provided, and they have insisted that there's no change to the template, while he and I both would have preferred to make some minor adjustments. That's not an availability, and so we agreed, and it was a very cooperative situation. We signed it, and I provided that to them, and they'll be turning that in the relatively near future, so it's gonna be great.
Well, again, thanks to the city who
Absolutely.
helped us with that SRO, getting SROs in every building at a time where other systems across the state just don't have that, and so we really are very grateful. And again, thankful that the state government's coming around to make sure every system does have that.
Yeah.
But,
And that was another one of her comments, is how safe the campus felt.
good.
I think it's an extension of what we're talking about, so yeah.
And, you know, I would say 4 years ago, it was such a different world. We all did the best we could, but with the resources and the cooperation of everybody, we made it a good, safe environment. It's wonderful.
Any other discussion tonight? Okay. Any other reports from the city? Things calm?
Trying to get the sidewalks figured out. Our bid came back about double what we thought it was gonna be, so we're trying to, that's the big thing I know everybody wants to know about right now, so we're trying to figure that out, and hopefully we just had one bidder, so that makes it tough too, so we're trying to figure that out.
Do you know if that's a bid based on a projection from long ago, or is that a recent bid and it still came in high?
It's been going on for a while, but I've made it a point to ask them on 2 different occasions, are you sure this will cover all 4 sides of the square? And they said, we're very confident in our numbers. The fact that we just had one bidder, I don't know if that had something to do with it, but we were disappointed in what
Wish
it
they
came
could put
back,
the trees back till
to say
then.
the least.
Okay. Any further comments before we dismiss? It's awesome to have such a great start to the school year, isn't it? It really is. Thank you, everyone. We will stand adjourned. Thank you.